Yeah. Well, so yeah, well, I don't know if you want to get back to interest rates, to kind of veered off
Oh,
topic.
I mean, like this is did we talk about trajectory anytime recently? Does that sound familiar to you at all?
What do you mean though? Like about
Okay,
rates or
no,
just
that means that we probably haven't. So like I've been talking about, when people ask me, hey, is this a good time to buy? Or hey, what do you think's gonna happen with the markets? What do you think's gonna happen with rates? Blah blah blah. My topic of direction is, well, the real question is what is your trajectory? Like the biggest limiting factor that I see for people that want to buy a house that can't or not ready to is like, okay, you don't have enough money saved. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe you borrow money from a retirement account, or maybe you get a gift of funds from a family member to help bridge the gap, or maybe you want to try to do a down payment loan. And 9 times out of 10, there's always a catch to that where maybe the rates are higher, there's other restrictions to it. And so when I say trajectory, it's like, okay, here you are right now, wherever somebody may be in their journey. Okay, well, what's happening? What are you doing right now to be into a better spot, whether it be increasing income or increasing skills to be able to have a better job down the road, or whatever you maybe do or not do. Like if you're just chilling and like, let's say you're paying rent of $1,500 and you want to buy a house and now your payment's going to be $2,500 and you're not saving any money and you're going to pull out a retirement account to get there. How much are you, what's going to happen when you have a payment that's $1,000 higher? What's going to happen then? Well, I'm going to just have to be forced to figure it out. Okay, well, that's cool. Maybe not the best strategy, but I do see that a lot. And it's like, if you're working on a skill, working on a strategy to be able to increase income at your current job, or maybe a side business or whatever it may be, if you're working on that gives you more margin for error, when you want to be able to get into the next property. So that's the thing that I've been talking about the most is like, you can't time the markets. And we talk about this all the time. You can't time the markets. It's all about time in the market. So, I mean, you can't get in the markets if you don't get into the game. And so it's like, okay, then what are you doing to prepare? What are you doing to save more money? What are you doing to increase income? That's the stuff that I look at.
yeah, I think I see that a lot too. And I think the biggest thing is that people think that they shouldn't go talk to anyone until they have the money or the down payment saved up, and then they go talk to a lender, or then they go talk to a real estate agent or whatnot. But I think a lot of it is you need to go talk to these people well in advance, to start this journey and figure out the process. Because like, my friend Mikey, he reached out to you and he
Mm-hmm.
got an idea of what it's going to take for him to get his next property, or how much more he has to get for a down payment, or what he has to accomplish before he can look for that next property. And I think that's what people don't realize is you want to go talk to lenders, mortgage brokers, real estate, and get an idea of what you need to start doing to put yourself in position to get on the property ladder. And, it's not like you're saying, it's not just about saving for this down payment and then you go talk to someone. You know, if someone reached out to you, like you're saying, you'd probably give them advice to, try to increase your income, side hustle, do something to increase how much income you're generating. Or, you can tell them, hey, you are looking at this price range, but right now you qualify for this price range. So if you want to get to this point, these are the things that you're going to have to do and improve on. And I think that's what people don't understand is they just think I'm going to save up for this down payment and then I'll go talk to people.
I mean, not to get too specific on your friend Mikey, but one of the things that really stands out that he was intentional about with his approach is making sure that not only does he have the down payment ready to go, but he's like, okay, I want to make sure that I have the reserves built up as well. That's part of his process. He wants to have the reserves there, and that's so important, because sometimes are just trying to get into a deal and like we said before, figure it out later. But stuff's going to happen with expenses and things don't going not going as planned, and you got to have the cash ready to go. Otherwise, you're dipping into other stuff to be able to pay for it.
Well, that was my biggest advice to him because I made those mistakes and I told him, hey, yes, you qualify for this, and yes, this cash flows, and yes, this looks great on paper, but I make sure you have reserves for unexpected expenses because I thought I did a good job of that and I definitely didn't. And that's slowed down my process. And that's the one thing I tell a lot of people that I speak with is make sure you plan well with reserves. And sometimes having the reserves instead of acquiring the next property actually is going to help you grow quicker, because you may have this next down payment for the next property, but that may, either not necessarily wipe out your reserve, but really limit your reserves that you have. And now something comes up, and then now, like you're saying, it kind of just snowballs, right? Usually there's never one expense that happens.
Yeah.
Usually they come in bunches, and then you're not prepared. And so that's why maybe getting that next property isn't the best idea. And like I said, that's my number one thing, and my number one advice to a lot of people is
That's
just
awesome.
plan well with reserves. And and that's the thing, right? I made those mistakes, and that's what I'm trying to help other people with. And Mikey's probably going to make some mistakes on his own, and the next person that he maybe talks with, or a friend, or someone that he may help, he's going to have different things to also
Yeah.
layer on top of those mistakes and say, hey, watch out for this or do this. And I think that's what it comes down to. Networking is, like if people have questions about syndications or my experience, they can reach out to me and I can tell them this is my experience with it. I'm not telling you it's bad or great or whatnot, but just this is the experience I had, and this is the pros and cons of it from what I see. And yeah, and then they can do with that information whatever they want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. One of the other things too that I've seen from a couple people, including Mikey, is they have a goal. Hey, I want to get into the next real estate property, whatever it may be. And it's like, okay, this is the amount of money that I'm making. These are the expenses that I have. Well, how am I going to get to this amount of savings faster? And having the strength and the vision and fearlessness to adjust your life to save more money. And for a couple people that I know, it's like, I'm living with my parents. I'm stockpiling cash because I don't have to pay rent. They're
yeah.
helping me out. And I'm going to go take that savings and then go invest in something for down the road. And that's the stuff that gets me excited because, when I was 25 and then I moved out of my parents' house, I was so embarrassed. Like a lot of my friends, dude, my friends were getting married at 24, 23 and having kids. And I was still living in my parents' house. I was embarrassed. Yeah, I live with my parents. I mean, I was saving a little bit of money, but I wasn't saving a lot of money. And I could have been saving a lot more money at the time. But it's like, if you have a job and you can stockpile cash, like you're just preparing the breadcrumbs or the foundations to be able to go do the things that you want to do, to be able to not have to work in 10, 20, 30 years, whatever it may be. And that's the stuff that gets me pumped up. So like if somebody out there is listening and you want to talk to Mark Oshiro and have him help you, give you a guide or a plan and advice, like does that pump you up? Or is it, or what are your thoughts of somebody to reach out to you and say, hey, can you help me with some questions on real estate?
Oh yeah, I love it, man. The only thing is they're gonna have to end up being on the channel though. That's my only stipulation is they have to do an interview. But the funny thing is me and Sierra just talked about this about, because yeah, I was in the same situation as you where people used to tease me about it, and I tease myself about it. I think one of my early videos, which is horrible, but I talked about it. But I don't know if you remember that movie Failure to Launch with Matthew McConaughey.
No, I
And
haven't
he,
seen
he
it.
he was living at home, and he was whatever. Well, I don't know what age he was, but he was living at home. And like you say, you can stockpile a lot of money. And unfortunately, I probably wasn't saving as much as I should have because I was out just partying or whatever. But yeah, like you said, it's a way to propel your future. If you have that opportunity, to stay at home, save a lot of money. And like you're saying, being intentional about it, even like saying driving a paid off vehicle or older vehicle instead of buying a new vehicle. And those are all things that are going to help you down the road to reach that financial freedom a lot sooner. And yeah, so me and Sierra were joking about that because same thing she was saying, oh, my friends are getting married at this age and all this. And, but yeah, you got to look at it with intention, and that's really, how you can get ahead a lot quicker.
Totally. Having that goal or the goalpost, right? Like real estate is just one goalpost. Okay, you get into real estate, it's an investment tool, whatever. Plenty of other goalposts you can put out there. Maybe it's building a business, maybe it's, paying off a car, maybe it's doing something else, saving money for your wedding. Whatever your goalpost is, like having a goalpost that you can shoot for, there's energy and power in that. And then like a book that I'm rereading called Who Not How, that my partner Mike Spillane, talks about and reminds me to keep reading. So you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the how to do something. The other questions that come up is like, who can help you get there faster? Who can help you figure it out faster? Who can you rely on that can help you get to your goal faster? And that kind of group mentality, people in your circle, your community, your tribe that you build, being able to rely on some others to help you, figure things out or get there. And that's raising up the tides. That's something that I got to do every day, because I literally come in the office every day and there's nobody here. I have to be very intentional to try to be able to surround myself with other people, other like-minded people. So something that I have to work on.
No, that's why I love doing this. And I'm going to call Mikey out. But like you said, he's being intentional. And I'm teasing him now because I call him a passport bro. Have you heard of that? I don't know if you heard
Oh,
of
oh,
that.
oh, what?
A passport bro?
No, no,
How
no.
come nobody has heard?
Is it in this? Is it in your rubbish can? Is that where
Yeah,
it's
well,
part of the
yeah,
license?
no. But so a passport bro is, like a guy that um, dating or women from other countries, just so and so yeah, his girlfriend is, she's from Japan,
Okay.
so she lives in Japan. But yeah, I was teasing him about that, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna become a passport bro. Also, I think that's and Sierra was teasing me about that also. But yeah, but it's like this thing, just being intentional about it, and he's a good guy, and like you said, he has a plan, and he has everything, going in the right direction, I think.
Um, kind of go backwards for a second. So Zuber, right?
Mhm.
Like the event in Vegas,
Yep.
that is being put on by who?
It's being
Why don't
put
you
on
go
by
into that?
him.
Mm-hmm.
So as we kind of touched on, he wasn't about growing his channel. He just enjoyed it. And one of his regular guests, Dion McNeely, who has a great YouTube channel also, Dion Financial Talk, and he has a same thing. So he has all these weekly regular guests, and everyone is different. Some people are fix and flippers. Some people do short term rentals. Some people are, about having a huge portfolio. Some invest out of state. So, but Dion is he actually caught my attention because he was on Bigger Pockets before, and he's known as the lazy investor, and that's what
Okay.
caught my attention. And he's basically has I don't know what his number is now, but he might be at like 16 units, and he's financially free. And he started off in a bad position where, he had three young kids. He was in a divorce. He found out about like $89,000 in debt that he didn't know about. He found that out after the divorce and all these different things. And he reached financial freedom in maybe like 10 years. But anyways, he's a regular, and he gave Michael Zuber kind of a challenge, like, hey man, your channel can grow, and if you get to like 50,000, like, you should have an event. And that was the thing. So Zuber got to 50,000 subscribers, and he's having an event in Vegas, and he's bringing a lot of the people that are regulars on his channel to be speakers. And it's not an event where people are going to be trying to sell courses or sell things. It is more guest driven.
Mm-hmm.
So these speakers might have like 10 minutes to kind of talk about themselves, talk about what they're doing. And the rest of their time on stage will be guest driven, and whatever questions the audience has, that's what they're going to talk about. So if you have, like you're saying, if Sean Cannell is the person that you want to maybe connect with or have more questions for, you're going to have your list of questions that you may want to ask Sean Cannell when it's his time to speak. And there's others that may have more like out of state investing. So when Brian Adamson goes up there, these are the ones that people are going to have more questions for. But it's going to be audience driven, where it's pretty much whatever question the audience has, that's the questions you're going to help with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Does Zuber have like a coaching course or a group, or
Yeah.
anything like a community? Okay.
Yeah. So he has two books out. One, one rental at a time, which is his first. Well, I don't know if that was the first one actually, but then he had, yeah, so one rental at a time. He has 15 conversations with millionaires, which is kind of different investors, their stories and whatnot. And he does have a course. I forget what the price is now. It's super affordable compared to these other courses that you can, you spend thousands of dollars on. This one, I believe, when I got it, it was like, I want to say 299. It might be 399 right now, but and he's always adding content to it, but it's very affordable, very straightforward, no fluff. And his biggest message is it's not easy, and it's just do the work, and yeah, rates are high right now, prices are high right now, but that doesn't mean there's not deals out there to be found. And this is just a matter of you doing the work. And, you may only find one deal, but that's all you may need, right? And he's very big on, all it takes is getting 4 rentals,
Oh,
and yeah,
I like that.
yeah, he's super big on just 4. 4 can be life changing. If you want to get 100,
Yeah.
great, that's for you. But 4 can be life changing. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that if he has a call and he says it and he was wrong on it, like whether he says interest rates will be going up or whatever, and maybe they didn't. He wears a shirt that says "swing and a miss." He wears
Hmm.
a shirt saying, "Hey, I gave you my opinion and I was wrong, and maybe," and he explains why. I didn't maybe take this into factor. I didn't consider this, and these are the things I maybe overlooked. And but there's always a reason. And he's pretty spot on to me, and he's a lot of times well ahead of the curve and what people are talking about out there. And he's been calling it for a long time that the housing market is broken. Transactions are going to crash, and that's going to be where the housing crash is in transactions.
Hmm.
People are going to keep talking about prices, but it's transactions. And yeah, he's been saying the housing market, the Fed. His big thing is the Fed broke the housing market with having rates low for so long, and
Yeah.
that has messed things up in the housing market. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a weird dynamic because, you try to help the markets, but then really you just basically created an incentive to never sell.
yeah, yeah,
And that's creating this massive gap. But the reason why I kind of bring up the whole, community and platform and all that, because like at the end of the day, like, you know, helping somebody out, there's only, this is a relationship type of stuff, right? There's only so much time in the day for one person or a group of people to be able to help somebody. So like, for Mr. Zuber to build a community and have people come, right? Like I look at people like Luke Belmar with Capital Club, who's built his own community of people. And then you have people like Hormozy, who's massive, right? But like people that are out there that may be watching this channel, right? Like you started with 0 subscribers, however many years or months ago. Same thing with me. Like I've got a little bit of a group of people that are coming to me for questions and seeing some of my content that maybe have never seen me before. It's like you got to start somewhere, and there's room for somebody. If you've got a skill or a niche, there's room for you to go do your own thing. It may take a while to get there, but there's room. And like if somebody has questions for either you and I, like we're here to help. And there's room to go create your own thing. Like that's the thing that I keep telling people, like in my industry, in the mortgage world, and then also the real estate agent world, if you're not building your digital brand, you're going to be left behind in 5 years because that's where everything is going. And, not to get into whatever with automation, but like Quicken, Rocket Mortgage, and then you have Redfin and Zillow. These automation online companies are trying to be able to take market share. So if you're not strengthening your relationships and building content and building things that are going to outlast yourself or your time, and you're going to be left behind. And so like, there's still time, there's still room. Somebody out there is thinking, hey, I want to do XYZ for your own, industry, your job or business. Like, why not? Can't change the past, but you can change the future. So it's like, you don't have to be great. Just guys be okay with being shitty
yeah,
for a while, like, I don't know.
yeah. Well, this one's getting kind of long, so I'm gonna have to probably figure out how to cut this into a couple videos, maybe. But it's always fun, man. And I don't know, we always just veer off on other topics and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but yeah.
Justin Fields, man, he had a good game,
Oh,
right?
that's why I'm wearing my Bears shirt. I can wear it proudly this. Well, he's been doing great the past, but we got our first win. But
Good for
I
him,
can wear
man.
it proudly, man.
He's got
Yeah.
good feet. Good feet, good quick feet. He's gonna be a player. He's gonna be somebody in this league. I
Well,
believe.
that's why I drafted him on my fantasy team. I think I play you this week, actually.
Oh, that means I need to make sure I get my lineup set up so I can
I
beat you.
shouldn't have said anything. You have like four guys not playing, I think. Yeah,
Oh
you better
shit.
go check your lineup.
I need to check my lineup. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But
Until next time.
yeah, we'll do this again. Yeah, we can, if you want, we can kind of continue on what me and Sierra talked about the other day. But are pets a distraction in your journey or your goal? So
For next time.
yeah, for next time, you
Okay.
can you can think about that and ponder on that
Perfect.
if pets are a distraction. Because yeah.
Well, I got my own opinions for sure on that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. It's always fun, man. Yeah. We'll put this one out and we'll do it again. Maybe we'll have another group one. That was fun too.
Yeah, I'm down. That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
But I think five was too much. I think we gotta go with three or four. I think five
Yeah,
was too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
The one person coming in and off, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think three
So
or four would be better next time, but we'll figure it out.
yeah. All right.
All right, man. Thanks,
All right.
man.
See
Okay,
ya.
bye.